Hello, I thought I'd take a look back at my Silent Hill Let's Play I did back in 2011, April 2011 I believe. I did the same with Silent Hill 2, the Maria Born From A Wish video, so you're in for a long haul. This is nearly 2 hours long. I put all the videos, all the parts together, so rather than sort of like split up into chunks. So if you sit and watch the whole thing, you know, hats off and thank you very much. So yeah, let's get into it. And I'll say this right now, Silent Hill 3 is hands down my favourite Silent Hill game of all time. Yeah, absolutely love it, favourite one. Everything about it. I like how it sort of continues on from the first. It's Heather here, our protagonist.
Nightmare.
And Heather's just really cool. Yeah. I just like how it all sort of fits together with the first game. It sort of carries on the story, sort of tying up a few loose ends or Douglas. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I understand the voice, the original voice actor of Douglas died a little while ago, so that's a shame. I thought he was really good. Everyone in Silent Hill 3, the voices are just perfect, which I'm not going to go into the whole HD collection voices because I'm sure you've heard everyone talk about that, you know, how displeased they were. I didn't care for them.
Okay, I will.
I think the original, there was nothing wrong with the original voices. They fit the characters perfectly. What? I always remember it was really interesting seeing all the trailers and footage before Silent Hill 3 came out, because you sort of saw Heather and you sort of wondering who she is, and then you saw Douglas and you're thinking, oh, is that her dad or someone related to her? It was really I thought it was really cool, because and then when you sort of like found out, her name was Heather Mason, you think, oh. The first thing I thought, is she related to Harry? It's like, yes. I won't spoil it for anyone who hasn't played through any of the games, but you should do, because the first 4 games are phenomenal. Absolutely love them. I should really be quiet during this. Also, you have to excuse me as well. The way I'm recording this, I'm using Windows Movie Maker, and I'm using the record narration, and I don't know if it's just if I've done something wrong, but I can't hear the game as I'm recording this. So if I talk any for any important bits, or I can't tell you when music cues are happening or anything like that, but I'm just gonna have to make do and see what happens. It's a good little call back to something that happens later on. If you knock on the same door in the alternate, when it changes from into the alternate world, yeah, something happens there. Same long way to run. There we go. Back up to the door. Obviously. Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't actually got the original video files for this. I had to download the videos from my YouTube account, and then just sort of smush them all together. So by the time this goes out, the video quality would be probably even worse, because YouTube compresses the hell out of their videos. So yeah, and coming up is the first monster that you seeing, well, that Heather experiences anyway. just sucking on someone's face. I mean, how would you react in a situation like this? Probably would just be... if it were me, I'd just be yelling the odds and firing. Actually, I'd like to think I would, but I'd probably just stand there completely scared out of my mind and probably get killed.
What the hell is this thing?
Right. Handgun bullets conveniently placed there. Oh, and I've unlocked all the well, most of the costumes, and I couldn't remember all the codes. This is actually my original game from way back when it was first released, and I just kept replaying this save file over and over and over again. So I've got a hell of a lot, yeah. But this is the, you know, as it's my favourite Silent Hill, this is the one I've played the most, countless times. And funny enough, well, I wouldn't say my least favourite, but in kind of order of my favourite Silent Hills, of the, you know, the original 4, Silent Hill 2's on the bottom. Goes 3, 1, 4, 2. I really thought 4 was good. I know a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was really good. Let's see, ever being there. You can probably guess what what ending I'm going for using this. If not, if you don't know, it's the UFO ending. I think 4 didn't have a UFO ending. I don't think Downpour had it. I only played Downpour. I think I've only played it about once or twice. Didn't care for it. I don't think that's got a UFO ending. It's got a joke. I think it's got like kind of a joke ending, but hasn't got the usual UFO ending. And neither's 4. But with 4, well, you know, everyone knows it wasn't originally planned to be a Silent Hill game at all, but in my eyes, 4 is the darkest, but also the most hilarious. Just with the nurses for one thing, and the scene, the section in the sort of subway train station area, where you're going up the escalators, and there's the wall ghosts. When you're trying to sort of dodge them or hit them, Henry, you know, if he gets hit by one, Henry just like flies like 20 foot in the air. And little things like that in the game are just hilarious. Yeah, 4's definitely a good one. I think the first person sort of bits threw people off a bit, and also the fact that it doesn't take place directly in Silent Hill, sort of like the outskirts of it. But you know, if you've played Silent Hill 2, there's a newspaper which refers to the killer, and I always thought that would be a good idea for a Silent Hill film, to be honest. Oh, bread tongs there. Oh, if I was here, I'd steal some bread if I were you, Heather. You got a long trip ahead of you, so you may as well take some carbohydrates and bread and things like that. Just steal, you're killing things willy-nilly, you may as well take some bread. No, the whole Walter Sullivan, I always thought would be a really good idea, instead of going the absolutely awful sequel route. You know, do a second Silent Hill film and base it around Walter Sullivan. I thought that would have been a good idea. You know, it would have been interesting, but they went for the absolutely terrible continuation of the first story, and then absolutely butchered all the characters from Silent Hill 3. But, you know, it is what it is. You can't do much now, but that's one of the very few films that actually made me angry. Watching that, that's the worst 25p I ever spent in my life, buying that film. You know, and people say Street Fighter and Double Dragon and Mortal Kombat are bad, but I thought Mortal Kombat was great. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, as bad as it is, it's an enjoyable film. It's likeable. I'm rambling talking about films, and I should be talking about this game and how absolutely awful I'm doing at it. I'm getting hit all over willy-nilly. Yeah, you have to kill. I think. How many enemies is it? 50 enemies is it? Don't quote me. Yeah, I know you have to kill a hell. Basically, just kill every enemy you see. Kill with the heather, you know, the heather beam laser thing, and you're probably guaranteed to get the UFO ending. Yeah. I think this was my third play of Silent Hill 3 that I did back in the day when I was uploading playthroughs and stuff. Not so much now. I think the first time I did it, that was the second. I believe that was the second ever. No, it wasn't. It was the third. I believe it was the third game I playthroughed. The first being Devil May Cry 2 with Trish, and then I did some short videos of Pocket Fighter. Then the second time I did Silent Hill 3, I let's played it with Lele Star. Way back in the day. And this was the third time I did it because I wanted to go through it and just get the UFO ending to upload it. If I were to do this again, I'll probably do a hard mode run, just so I'm not sort of rehashing what I did before over and over again. God, I can't believe it took me this long to do this puzzle as well. God, I'm not going to do the typical Let's Player thing and say, "Oh God, I'm awful at every game," because every Let's Player downs how, you know, "Oh, I'm so bad at games." It's like, yeah, well, you know, don't keep going on about it. You're bad at games, just don't keep going on about it in videos. God, mate. I'll slap past me if I was there. God, that took ages. This is taking a while. And we're about to meet another character after I go through this door. There we go. And we should be meeting a new character now. I'm just gonna sip on my coffee while this plays.
Hey, wait, what's going on? Where is everybody? Those weird monsters?
They have come to witness the beginning. The rebirth of paradise, despoiled by mankind.
What are you talking about?
Don't you know? Your power is needed.
How should I know?
I am Claudia.
So what?
Remember me, and your true self as well. Also, that which you must become. The one who will lead us to paradise with blood-stained hands.
Claudia, right? Did you do all this?
was the hand of God.
I don't get it. What does she want me to remember?
Love how Heather's, you know, that initial meeting, she was just, you know, you're Claudia, okay, that's all well and good, I don't much care what's going on. Just straight to the point, doesn't want to hear what she's talking about and all this nonsense, she just wants to know what's going on. Doesn't care about who you are or anything like that. Get the infamous radio in a second. I think I'm just messing around here. I think do I spin around? No. I usually do this in games. If there's like a loading screen or I've got to wait a while, just sort of like prat around for a bit. I'm probably missing something glaringly obvious, but I always wondered where that radio came from. Perhaps it was that thing's really good camera, I say camera, you know, the camera angles they use. I remember one of the selling points of Downpour was, oh, we're gonna go back to you know, old school Silent Hill with the camera angles and stuff. I remember one or two instances of it being shoehorned in and it was really out of place. It was most of the sort of like third person over the shoulder kind of stuff, then they kind of shoehorn you know, a camera angle, you know, to as you're walking through a walled room to the other door, and that was about it. Didn't really do much to impress. But yeah, oh, at least someone left them bandages, which is nice. I like how her eyes close as well. Red? No, not red at all. But you know, just looks kind of funny as her eyes are. If they were red, that would be funny. But it almost looks like a heart there. Yeah, and this was back when I was recording with the Easy Cap. I think I've always recorded with the Easy Cap. If I was using anything else, it was at least, you know, when I was recording with Lele Star, she had a Dazzle. I think for every single video I did when I'm on my own, not including any, battle construction vehicles, because I did that in Relay Stars. Every game I played through on was with an Easy Cap, with no sound either, because I didn't have any splitter cables, so I had to record everything on through onto my laptop. I couldn't play it off the TV with sound. I had to do it through the laptop, and there was no sound when I was playing the game, so I was doing everything in silence and on a tiny little preview screen on the laptop. So they were the days. But I'd like to get back into doing playthroughs again. Not let's play, not full-on let's plays or anything like that, but just you know, like old Saturn games and stuff, because you know they're the I always wanted to do show off Saturn games, because the Sega Saturn is probably hands down my favourite system of all time. Absolutely love it, and I like how you get the light here. Got to turn it off. Bang! There's your flashlight. I can't remember. I think you can get it without turn. Well, can you? Oh, I can't remember. It has been a little while since I played Silent Hill 3, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to see. and some bleed. This is a funny scene. Providing you have a Silent Hill 2 save.
Oh, forget it. This is way too gross. Who would even think of doing something so disgusting?
Who indeed? I like how the game does that, and if you once you get back to Heather's apartment, providing you have a Silent Hill 2 save, if you check the mailboxes, she makes a reference to sort of like the main plot point in Silent Hill 2 there, so that's quite cool. And just like how sort of games did that, Konami did that a lot. Obviously everyone knows, you know, if you played Metal Gear, that Psycho Mantis would read your, if you had like certain games on the memory card, you know, like Castlevania or anything like that, it would read it, and you know, I think it would say like, because I never had Castlevania or any other Konami games on the PS1 back in the day, but I remember my friends sort of like saying that, oh, like, yeah, can you read your memory card? And I was like, you know, that back then that was quite cool. I'm sure PC gamers, you know, prior to that they had like their things, but for console gamers, you know, us scrubs, you know, us low-level peasants, that was things like that were just kind of cool. You don't really get it now. Oh yeah, do I get the bulletproof vest? Yes, I do. No, that's the hanger. Do I get the bulletproof vest? Yes. Yeah, I think I'll get hit a couple of times. Well, hit more than a couple of times in this, so. I know you run slower, but I feel a lot of people say, "Oh, just run past them," you know. But I'm awful. Even if I try to dodge something, I always get hit. So I just feel safer if I have the bulletproof vest on. Yeah. I think most of this would just be trying to kill every enemy with this laser beam and get that UFO in. I know I would get it, obviously, because this is my video uploaded before I'm speaking over it, but I remember when I was playing through it, I was thinking, oh god, I don't want to be recording this for like 2 hours, and thinking I didn't get enough enemies, so I just killed everything to make sure I definitely got it. You know, I'd like to get back, as I was saying before, I'd like to get back into doing gameplay videos again, mainly Saturn stuff. I'd like to actually finish Panzer Dragoon Saga. I did disc 1. It's just finding the time to do, you know, the rest of it, and I just couldn't put that much, because disc 1 could be completed in a couple of hours, if that. And it was just finding the time, and once you get past disc 1 and Panzer Dragoon, it becomes very, very story heavy and a lot of talking and stuff, so, and yeah, it was finding the time to do it, really. But I would also have liked to have done what is it? There's a couple of Saturn games I actually had. I was a bit of a nerd. I actually wrote down a list of what games I'd like to do once I get my Saturn AV, because I only had a straight SCART lead for the Saturn, and I've had AV cables which I had to order some. And by the time I sort of got everything, you know, the EasyCap kind of died, my laptop died, and it'd been so long. And there were so many other record and capture cards and stuff. I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to go and buy one that was bad or anything, so I just sort of never got back into it. I mean, but if anyone is watching or listening to this, hats off to you, thanks. But if anyone can recommend me like a good sort of capture card device or anything, I'd appreciate it, you know, because I don't know I don't know anything now. Back in the day, it was like the main things were like Dazzler Easy Cap, and now there's like so many. I don't have a clue. So pull back to Silent Hill 1 there. Or the first Silent Hill, I should really say, that's Silent Hill 1. Lovely coffee. It's always odd looking back at not that I sort of like make a habit of watching my older gameplays, and I mean the only time I ever watched them was when I was editing, and once it uploaded I just watched it through just to make sure there was no recording issues or upload issues even when it uploaded on YouTube, because there was one part of Silent Hill 2 uploaded back in the day. About halfway through the video it kind of, like the bottom half of the screen kind of glitched or blurred or something, so I had to take it down, upload it again, because I don't know if it was the compression, YouTube's compression or something messed up with the, but I had to upload that again and then it was fine. But I mean the only time the only time I watch my gameplays when I'm editing, and then once it's uploaded give it a watch through to make sure everything's okay. Outside of that, I don't. Like I know I'm gonna have to like listen back through this, and I mean that's one thing why I never did Let's Plays back in the day, because one, I hate having to listen to myself, and I know people will be thinking, oh, well, why are you sort of doing this? But I just fancy doing something, so I thought I'd take a look back at this and talk over it, talk nonsense over it. Well, Heather's going around doing things willy-nilly. I think you've got a long while. Yeah, I think this is about an hour and 50 minutes roughly. I just compressed all the videos together, like I said. Just all the sounds and everything in this, like even a great example is the beginning of Silent Hill 2. Even if it's, you know, like I said, my least favourite of all the originals, it's still a bloody good game. But that the beginning part when you're just like running from the car, you know, into Silent Hill and into, like, you know, the main town, as it were, and you're just hearing all these sounds and stuff, and you're thinking, you know, the first time playing, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if you're going to get like a scare or something, you're going to see something. It's just all these, even if nothing happens, when nothing happens. Oh, I love this, sorry. That's another reason why Heather's one of my favourite ever. My top 3 favourite ever video game characters. She's just a great character. Yeah, like I was saying, the sort of like sounds and everything in Silent Hill, it's even if you know deep down nothing's gonna come out and get you, it's very eerie, you know, it has a great sense of sort of eerie atmosphere and oppression and just foreboding and stuff, which most even indie horror games can't really capture. Well, in my opinion, I don't think he captures it at all. Because for a while, you know, a couple of years ago, most indie horror games were just first person views, can't attack, gotta hide everywhere, you know, one hit kills, and that was it. And it was like every game sort of seemed like that. It was sort of copying the whole Slender thing. And, I mean, it worked for Slender, but you know, I never really thought much of them, to be honest. I mean, you know, hats off to, you know, not mocking them at all. You know, hats off to the people who make them, but it's just, it's not from, you know, I don't really find them too scary or engaging or anything like that. That's just me. I like a lot of unconventional horror, like not so much his the games, but one of my favourite authors is Clive Barker, and I remember reading Weave World for the first time years ago, when I was back in school, and a lot of the time after you read a chapter you just think, what the hell did I just read? Especially for me being that young, that was the first, because a lot of horror my friends like was sort of Stephen King, which is, if you like Stephen King, it's fine, I'm not knocking or anything, but to me, you know, there's always going to be, you know, Stephen King's always going to write the same book over and over and over again, which is it's all well and good, but I mean, I'm sure, I know, and I'm sure there's other authors out there who were crazier, you know, really more like what the hell than Clive Barker stuff. But for me, I think reading that stuff when I was young really was sort of like struck a chord. Like, whoa, this is not like anything I've read or seen before, and I really like this. And I always thought if you know, after playing Silent Hill 1 and 2, and I can't remember if it was before or after 3, but I'll be quiet for a sec, I love this scene. Here we go. It's just I know I can't hear it in the video, but I do know the screams. Just like, ah! I find that funny. Don't know. I've always found it funny. But you know, back to what I was saying. I always thought it'd be cool, like when I was younger, after playing like first and second Silent Hill, if what if like Clive Barker had something to do with Silent Hill? You know, he could make some really twisted, you know, disturbing stuff, you know, that I thought it would be really cool. And then like, if, you know, H.R. Giger, you know, if he had, you know, put some input into it, you know, how sort of messed up would things be if he had those guys on board, and you know, go sort of leading into Silent Hills. That did look promising, but you know, it's not going to happen. You know, it's no point dwelling or sort of moaning about it because it's not going to happen. But I'm kind of glad that, well, as far as we know, there's not going to be any more Silent Hill, because even if that would have brought the series back to, you know, being great again. I think it's just we need to come up with like new IPs. It's all well and good keeping a franchise alive, but like Street Fighter, I mean, I know it's got its fans, but I just don't care. I'm one of the few people, I suppose. I just don't care. I mean, because remember when Street Fighter 3 came out, it was quite exciting. I did buy it for the Dreamcast, but it was just, you know, but that's one of Capcom's flagship titles, so it has to keep going. And you'd think it would go with Mega Man, since theme as its flagship title, but that's kind of, let's not even go into Mega Man. Yeah, that's a big mess now. And everything at Capcom doing just seems to be an absolute mess, and same with Konami. Obviously, but I always wonder, you know, what happened to these companies, you know, Capcom, Konami, all these, they used to be great. Um, Cap, Especially Capcom with their arcade titles and stuff, they were great. You know, um, Cadillac, Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, Final Fight. Konami did some phenomenal games as well, and it just don't think DLC's helping anything and things like that. Everyone knows the whole Capcom DLC on disc and all that, and I just don't like the way games have gone now. I mean, obviously, I don't hate it or anything, but I think after the Dreamcast, it all kind of started to go downhill a little bit, in my opinion. But there's still some good stuff out there. I just don't like really the way gaming is going now. I mean, some game, there always used to be games just that, just maybe one-off games, back in the day, like on the Super Nintendo, Mega Drive, all that sort of thing. It used to be like all sorts of games out there. It wouldn't just like franchises going and going and going. You'd get like the odd obscure title that developers used to just try things more, I think. But I think now it's such a big business and everything, they want to, they know the titles that sell, so they want to keep with them rather than trying something new and taking a risk. But I'm not a big, I don't know much, so yeah, it is what it is. So I should really be talking about Silent Hill, shouldn't I? But we've got about an hour left, so I've got plenty of time to ramble on about this and all sorts. I mean, I can't say too much about Silent Hill because I'm probably one of the worst Silent Hill fans out there, because I don't understand enough about the lore or the mythos to really make comments about it. I don't really have the right or authority, as it were, or anything like that to really talk about it, because I know there's fans out there who know far more than I'm probably one of the Silent Hill fans who knows next to nothing about it. I love it, but I know next to nothing about Silent Hill, so I can't tell you really much about like the whole what everything means, and because I'm an idiot, I don't know. I just don't know. I mean, I do love it all. I remember this part. I don't think it actually freezes, because when you read something, it usually like pauses the game, somewhat. I think if you still have enemies there and you read what's on the door, enemies will still attack you and stuff, so they can keep interrupting what you're reading, getting knocked about and stuff. So it's best to like sort of take enemies out there. I always thought that was kind of funny. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but yeah, it's there. So this is probably one of the funniest kills you can get if you use the submachine gun. Well, I think it's hilarious how just how the boss dies, or how it takes its damage, should I say, when you use the unlimited submachine gun. I just think it's hilarious. And here we go, cutscene into the first boss battle of the game. horrific and not how horrific does that look? Like a giant worm with human teeth. Here we go, watch this. It's flopping its head around. And then that's... yeah. I think that was a... I don't know, you know, I'm probably wrong, but like I said, I don't know anything about Silent Hill really, but I think that's a throwback call to the split worm boss from, you know, the lizard boss from Silent Hill 1, which is the first boss Harry has to take care of. And we're back in normal world now.
What? It's the shopping mall just like before. Am I back?
There we go, unequip that so I don't accidentally use it. And we're about to leave the shopping centre, because I'm British, we call it a shopping centre. Pick some stuff up and say first, and go into, I think, what most people don't like the next section of the game. It's the subway and underpass. A lot of people don't like that because they say they get lost and confused. I never had that trouble, to be honest. Not being big-headed or anything, I never had the trouble in the game. If you can hear that, it's my dog's going nuts outside. I do apologise, but we meet up with Douglas again now.
Heather,
It's you.
what just happened?
You must be one of them.
What did I do? And what do you mean by one of them?
You're in on this with that Claudia, aren't you?
Claudia? What about her? She asked me to find you, that's all.
So you are one of them.
Claudia did all that? Look, I was just hired to find you. I'm not on anybody's side. I don't know anything about this. Why don't you start by telling me what happened here? And that monster. What the hell was that?
I don't know any more than you do. All I know is that things are getting really screwy around here, and I got a weird feeling it's got something to do with me. Maybe you're just an innocent bystander, but I can't feel sorry for you because you dragged me into this. You know, if you hadn't found me...
What are you talking about? What's so special about you anyway?
If I knew that, I wouldn't be so confused, would I? But I know there's something. Something I've been running from and forgotten.
I just love how sort of Douglas is as much in the dark as Heather is, really. I mean, he doesn't know much more.
How did I remember that?
What's wrong?
Nothing.
Where are you going?
I'm taking the subway home.
What should I do?
Hell if I know.
I love that response. Hell if I know. You know, all Heather wants to do is just get home. You know, doesn't know what's going on. She hasn't got much time to think about other people in this. All the stuff's affecting her. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like the subway in the underpass because they sort of got lost or found it too confusing. And like I said, not to sound big-headed, but I never had too much trouble here. It wasn't. I remember people sort of saying that they absolutely hate this section, but I got on fine. I didn't hate it. It was a bit. It's a bit lengthy, but outside of that, I'm okay with it. Oh, and I like these little the newspapers readings you find here about the ghost on the in the subway. And I believe in my very first playthrough of this I did for the channel, I think I completely missed the ghost part, which I thought playing back after I did it, I was like, damn, probably should have done that. But I do it in subsequent playthroughs, so that I've uploaded, so it's all good. I can imagine a lot of people probably don't pick the map up in this section as well, so they're thinking, oh crap, I'm lost. Where was the map? But yeah, it's not that bad. It's just a bit tedious, this part, but I got no problems with it. And I forget how deep this sort of subway goes as well here. Another, I think it's the book. Yep, it's the book. Oh, magazine, sorry. I mean, they didn't have to really add this bit at all into the game, but they did, and I think it doesn't add a tremendous amount, but it's you know, it's welcomed. Got no problems with it there. Got like a ghost being all spooky and playing tricks on people. Well, I say playing tricks on people, it's trying to kill them, isn't it? But it's all good fun. It's all good fun. Heather doesn't die, and yeah, he's just having a laugh, isn't he? Whoosh! Yeah, back up. Goddamn magazine nearly killed me. Creaky chair. I mean, like I was saying before, I didn't never found this section too bad, but after playing it as many times as I don't really need to pick the map up because I know where to go, but it's sort of forced a habit when you know, when you play games, you do the same sort of thing over. You know, even if you know, let's say like in Resident Evil, I mean, a lot of people still pick the maps up even though they don't necessarily use the map because they know the game, they know where to go and everything. It's just something that you just instinctively do. You go and pick the map up, and like I know in here. Like picking up the you know, the unlimited machine gun, or if you pick the flamethrower up, sometimes I just pick them up because I know they're there, but I won't necessarily use them. It's sort of like that. I think it might be that completionist thing, and you know, you just want to, it's a force of habit. force of habit things that you do in games. I mean, in Sonic 1 on the Master System, you didn't. You kind of had checkpoints that you could get, but they were like the television sets in the Master System version. And in the first couple of levels, I know I never have to restart the levels, but instinctively I go and get those TVs just because that's something I always did, even when I was young playing it. Yeah, well, we need that. Good. I mean, I'm no, I doubt I could speedrun these games. I mean, I'm sure most people who play Silent Hill could probably beat this far quicker than I could. I mean, I would, knocking things about, making noise. I'm probably taking a speedrunner would probably watch this and be like, "Oh, you should be at the church by now." Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not. I just do things my own pace, and that's just how it is. I mean, I know where to go and everything in this, so obviously, the amount of times I've played it, if I don't know where to go from the 100, 200 odd times I have played this a hell of a lot, and I don't know where to go, then there's something wrong with me. See, like in here, I think I picked do I pick the shotgun up? I can't remember. Yeah. A gift wrap shotgun. Like, I picked it up, but I know I'm not going to use it because I'm going for this run. But it's just like it's instinctive. I pick up all the bullets. I pick up the gun. I pick up all stuff I know I'm not going to use just because I know it's there, and I was like, oh, I best pick it up because I forgot to do something. It's almost like keeping track, I think. It's like, if I know I've gone past the points, I know I've gone past that bit because I picked the shotgun up. And yeah, it's just one of those things, I guess. Make sure he's dead. Shoot him in the bum. There we go, he's dead. With the monster designs in the early Silent Hills as well, I know a lot of people said in Downpour, there wasn't really anything stand out. A lot of many of the monsters just look like the homeless people, and those sort of spidery ones that sort of hang upside down under the bridges and things like that when you're walking around town. It's not really. They're quite uninspired, but and a lot of people complain. Dog going nuts outside. A lot of people complained about Silent Hill Homecoming, like how bad their monsters, the monster designs in that was. But at least there were monster designs in that. Downpour was just such. Get off me. Downpour was just such a disappointment. Of all the Silent Hill games, the Origins, Homecoming, and Downpour. Origins is probably my favourite one of the three, and then Homecoming. I did not like Downpour. You can see how much I hated Downpour in Lele Star's Let's Play of it. I joined her for just you can watch that if you want to see how angry I didn't even. Did I get angry? I probably did get angry, but I just did not like. I didn't enjoy that at all. I enjoyed Homecoming far more, and Origins far more than I did Downpour. Downpour was just. Let's not speak of it. I think it was around here I was starting to think, should I just do another sweep of the entire subway to see if I got every enemy. But I do get the UFO ending, you know, so it's all good. No, you wanted to get the subway home, so there you go. And you're the protagonist, you're not going to get killed. You got to survive to the end, so you're okay until maybe at the end you die. But yeah, we know Heather doesn't die. That's a save point, by the way. I'm sure everyone knew that. I think a lot of people, fans, sort of refer to these things as chicken, like the enemies that look like chickens. I didn't think they really did look like chicken or turkey things. I think it's just maybe the sound they make. I've never known a turkey to sound like that, but maybe they do. I don't know. Wires everywhere. There's a big one. I don't know why I hit that. There we go. That's fine. See that behind it. I always thought it would have been good, because Heather gets so many different alternate costumes in this. I mean, you could just type stuff in, and I think there's a GamePro t-shirt, a PlayStation 2 magazine t-shirts, and all that kind of stuff in this. I thought it would have been really good if they gave. I'm sure. I know I'm not the only person who thinks this, but I'm sure it would have been really cool if they had like the Alyssa costume for her. That would have been a really good alternate to have in this, because it would have been appropriate as well. There's a missed opportunity to have that costume in for Heather, but let's see, it is what it is. Can't it wasn't in there, so can't really complain that much about it. We can say it's a missed opportunity, but hey, come on, dude. There we go. I do like how some of the carriages are complete darkness, the others have a bit of light there. Rather than just, you know, copy paste dark, you know. Change it up a little bit and have a monster or two hiding in the darkness as well. Cutscene now, yeah. Here we go, let's get off the train. Yeah, save point. See, like I don't need to save, but I mean, it's interesting to read what she says, because she says different things at the different save points. But it's like I think it's just like force of habit. Like save there, got past that save point, that sort of thing. So I think obviously when I was recording with the Easy Cap, I was terrified, like because a lot of the times it would like stop, say stop recording, or like freeze, or something would go wrong. So I always did like recording with the Easy Cap in like half-hour chunks, just because I didn't want to like record for an hour and be like, I don't want to do an entire hour again. You know, at least with half an hour it's more manageable. Yeah, I think on harder difficulty, if you stay in there too long, where it's the walls are going like that, you like if you were to stay in here, I think you take damage. So don't quote me on that, but I think you might do. And this is another, like I said before, this is another section that people tend not to like too much, but hey, I'm okay with it. Oh god. Get my Avenger news later. Thing is, I know where to go in this, but a lot of the times when I replay this, I always forget to pick that map up. I always get them all, but it's like, I think I just like forget there's a map there. Probably because I know where to go. I think because I tend not to look at the map so much in this. I just think, oh, maybe I've, like 5 minutes in this section, I've already got the map. It doesn't matter, but I don't know. I mean, I will say when I first played this, I did find this a little bit confusing because it kind of all it does look all the same, and then but you get to a section like this, and you've kind of made progress or you've gotten somewhere because it looks different. But I was awful playing this first time. I pulled whenever I got a map, I pulled out a map like every second. Like, is this alright? This turning isn't the first. Is it the first or the second turning? Pull the map out and have a look, make sure you're still on the right track. So, yeah. It's best to be. If you don't know where to go, it's always good to just pull your map out. Better to be safe than sorry. You don't want to spend too long walking around, not knowing where you're going and getting frustrated with it. So, I don't mind it when. Pull your map out if you don't know where to go. It is. That's what they're there for. That's what maps are there for. Use them. I love how Heather runs like an old lady when she's got the body armor on. When she hasn't got them, she just sort of flails her arms around willy-nilly everywhere. Yeah, I think it's this section, or was it? This section where you have to use the wine bottle to. Yeah, this section here. Oh, I always used to go around down the first turning rather than this second one where you need to go first to use the wine bottle. Use the bottle to fill up. Yeah, here. I'm getting old and getting confused. Because you need the oil to use in the machine to lower the water. And I always used to go down the first. I think in my mind it was like, oh, logic dictates I go down the first corridor, then the second. But it's like, go back in the second and the first corridor, and then because I always used to go in here when I first played the game and be like, where is this? It is just sort of like trial and error, because you think you might completely miss the wine bottle, and you'd be like, what do I obviously need something here, because I need to, and then to get this machine moving. Oh, then you go into the other room and think, oh, I can get oil from there. What do I need? And then go back and have a look what you might have missed. I think there's a lack of that in sort of current horror games. It kind of hands everything you need to in order. So like if there's like you need to get to room B, but you're in room A first. Everything you'll need, or if you need to get to room C and you're in room A, everything would be in room A. Completely miss B, and you'll be immediately in C, or something to that effect. But everything's kind of like, oh, I need to get these bits to open this door, and they just so happen to be all in the same place or something, or in order. If you pass this door before this door, everything you need to be in this door, the secondary part to be in the next door. It won't be like, oh, there might be nothing in these rooms and you might have to get everything from one. It's all, it forces you to think a bit more, whereas in new games I think it sort of like hands a lot of it to you on a plate. Like, I need to get through this door and I need a key, or the key's in the next room to get to the next door, rather than backtracking somewhere, or thinking about another way to get around it. And I think that's why I do so bad in sort of newer games, because I tend to overthink everything now, whereas I think older games forced you to think a little bit more. I'm not saying like new games are too dull, but I think they're far too easy for the giving now. Like, the whole regenerating health thing, and like, because I know a lot of people, if they were to bring back like health packs in games now, I'm sure a lot of people would be probably disgusted, whereas that's what it was like back in the day. You had to sort of like, you couldn't just like soak up all the damage and then just hide behind a rock, cuddle up and suck your thumb for 5 seconds and you'd be replenished with health again. You kind of had to think. You had to be a bit more strategic, like, you had to get from here to here, and I've got this much health left. I know there's like a health pack in that building, so I can get to that building there. Now it's just like, I just like bomb through it and hide behind a rock every 5 seconds and get my health back. It's not much strategy now. It's just like how quickly. Oh, I should really be mentioning the sea monster, the monster in the sewers here. If you run over one of the bridges, you will see the monster, sort of like hiding away. But yeah, new games, it's more how quickly can you get to a hiding spot without losing all your health, rather than strategically playing it. It's just the old curmudgeon in me talking now. Getting old. And Heather's thinking, I know, I'm going to defeat this monster. I'm going to be the hero of the underpass town. Because... But first... I always thought this was brilliant to put in.
Was it this magnificent silver pipe? Perhaps it was only this filthy steel pipe that you drank.
And the secret to this puzzle is just to be honest. From what I understand, in the HD collection, they changed the text from truly honest man to truly honest person. I think, because I only played the HD collection of Silent Hill 3 once. I think they changed it from man to person. I suppose political correctness and all that kind of stuff. When man kind of means every person, rather than just like men No, whatever. And I save the underpass, people. I think if you just like run across willy-nilly without doing nothing, Heather. I can't remember because I haven't actually done it, and then I think Heather gets pulled in and killed. But she's saved the worker, the last worker of the underpass from the evil demon monster thing. And we're nearly done with the underpass. We just got to get out. Which is pretty straightforward, just follow here. You know, people have sort of like complained about, oh, there was a sewer section in Silent Hill Homecoming. It's like, well, there was in Silent Hill 3. There is in Resident Evil 2. There's a sewer section. Sewer sections creep their way into games all the time somehow, so you know, don't. And you know, I heard someone said a while back that Resident Evil, you know, it doesn't have levels. There's no levels to Resident Evil. And I think that there kind of is. There's like Resident Evil 2. There's like the police station level. Like you said, there's the police station level. Then there's the sewer level, and then there's the secret scientific lab level. It kind of does have levels. So I mean, unless that's just how I think when I play a game. I thought, like, oh, this section, this is like the like in Silent Hill, you got like out in the streets level, you got the shopping centre level, you got the hospital level. I suppose some people don't see it as levels, but it's more sort of sections. But it kind of does have levels in a way. But yeah, I think that's just a matter of opinion more than anything else. It has areas you go to, whether you classify them as levels or just areas is just up to you, really. But in the Hilltop Centre level, which always reminds me of Hilltop Hospital. I don't know if that was shown anywhere outside of the UK, but Hilltop Hospital was an old sort of like children's TV program with sort of based in a hospital, and everyone who worked. I think that the main doctor was a dog or something. I don't know, but I'm talking about a children's program, Hilltop Hospital in Silent Hill. There we go. So I always pick all of this up, even though I know I'm not going to use it. Especially this part is here. Look. Yeah, use the either the pipe or the maul to just break the wall down here. Because see, bang, bang, bang. And that's just kind of creepy, really. I mean, what if they're not buried alive in the cement there? It's kind of creepy. It's like I think it's in the hospital section where there's a save point later on in the game. You get to kind of like a sort of like a window area, and as you get up to it, you just the angle changes where it's like really close to the window and sort of Heather's face, and you can kind of see hands sort of gripping the outside, and it just looks really creepy and a bit unnerving. I sort of like things like that. It's little things like that are just kind of like kind of put you on edge and a bit disturbing. You know, are they just hands, you know, that have been sort of severed at the elbows or something, that just hanging there, or is there like a body hanging, you know, an entire full body hanging there dead, or you know what because all you can see are the hands gripping, so you probably won't like anything that's on the other on the other side of it. So this section of the game's quite cool. I like you meet mannequins. It is a bit nasty, isn't it? I mean, bang, that's, you know, it's not like Nightmare Fuel or anything that bad, but it's kind of, you look at it, you just think, oh god. That's a bit disturbing, kind of thing. Yeah, in this section, with this sort of section of the game, we meet Vincent a bit later on in the alternate world area, so or slightly before. Vincent's a cool character though. Completely destroyed him in the film, but we're not talking about the film, because we don't want to be angry. We want to happy thoughts playing Silent Hill. We don't want whole things like the films getting involved in it. What's really cool about Silent Hill 3 as well, we're not going to get to it because, like I said, this is only going to be half of the game playing to get the UFO ending. But when you're in the amusement park area, just before the boss fight there, is it the Memory of Alyssa? Don't quite. I can't actually remember I think that's the proper. I'm probably mixed up with something else, but anyway, if we're in that sort of like area with the merry-go-round bit, with the horses and everything, you can find a save point Harry uses from the first game, and Heather will sort of like take notice and read what Harry wrote down, which is, I think it's kind of cool because it's almost showing that whenever Harry came to a save point in the original game, he was actually noting down what he experienced and what he was feeling up at those points. So I just think that's a kind of a neat little thing they did. You know, his save points were like sort of like the notebooks, and in 2 and 3 and sort of like other games, it's always it's not a notebook, and I think like they use notebooks in a way for this game to show, you know, Heather, oh, Dad left there's a note by Dad here, what does it say? And it kind of uses that to sort of like advance the story a little bit and sort of show what Harry was thinking at the time and stuff, and what was going through his mind. I just think that's a cool little thing that was added in. It took me a long time to explain, but I think you know what I mean. I just think that's quite cool. And again, like in Silent Hill 2, James finds the newspaper outside the the apartment blocks, in the bin, about Walter Sullivan, and about a victim in there, and then 4 sort of developed that into like its own story, which it didn't have to do at all. It could have just you know, 4 didn't have to be anything from anything to do with Walter Sullivan. That could have just been a throwaway bit of trivia that was, you know, a throwaway story that was in the in Silent Hill 2, and because it, you know, I think it talks about that it took place outside of Silent Hill, and I thought 4 was quite clever in taking that Walter Sullivan sort of story from the newspaper, making it into a full game, and the whole game taking place just outside of Silent Hill. I just thought, you know, I thought that was really sort of clever and good way to incorporate it in somehow. But like I said, I'm the worst person to sort of talk about Silent Hill with, because I know nothing. You know, I enjoy the games. I try. I'm just not smart enough really to understand it or take it all in. You know, I try to, but I'm getting old. I'm too old and stupid to understand it all, really. Killing these chicken turkey monster things. Bird's eye chicken drumsticks. Like that, if you wasn't like, I just like sort of like that camera shift, because you think, something important's here, but you pick that up. So I do like the sudden kind of camera shifts in here, because you think, there might be something important here to find or read or discover. It's all good. I really need to sit down and give Hard Run another go through on this. I think that's I think that's the only mode I haven't actually beat. One of the only few things in Silent Hill 3 that I haven't done is beat it on hard mode. I think I've beat it on hard with the riddles set on hard, but I haven't done it with the you know, the action set on hard. Gonna have to try and do that one day. Almost coming up to the final stretch of the game, really. Yeah. Beef jerky. I think you use that you can distract the monsters, but I remember the first time finding that, I think I'd eat it. Which, well, why wouldn't you want to eat beef jerky, you know? Well, unless you don't like beef, but, you know, I do. Perfect time to have a bath right there.
I knew it.
Yeah. I love that city. So like it's sort of phasing in, that's really cool.
invaded by the other world, by a world of someone's nightmarish delusions come to life.
Yeah, the voice actress for Heather, called Heather Morris, did I think, an absolutely great job. Phenomenal job voicing Heather.
No, not again. Did she do this too?
You can really feel the emotion in her voice and everything, especially with the cutscene coming up with when she meets Vincent. You can really hear it and feel all the emotion and everything in her voice. I think she did like an absolutely tremendous job voicing Heather. And not saying in the HD remake the new voices, I'm not saying any of those voice actors or actresses are bad, but you cannot get better than the original voices for Silent Hill 2 and 3. They just did it perfectly. They captured everything perfectly, in my opinion. That's a really good photo, but kind of creepy. Someone managed to take it that close and that angle and everything. I'll be quiet for this bit now because we meet Vincent, and this is really, really good. I like this scene.
Heather. That's what you're called now, isn't it?
And who are you?
The name's Vincent. Don't forget it, okay? I'm on your side.
So you say. But how do I know you're not with her?
Her? You mean Claudia? Please don't lump me together with her. She was totally brainwashed by that crazy old hag. Well, I guess crazy old hag is a bit harsh. She is your mother, after all.
My mother? What do you mean?
You don't remember? So Harry didn't tell you anything. I guess he hid the truth to keep you on his side. Eh? That figures. He's a pretty sneaky guy.
Don't talk about my dad like that!
Sorry. I apologize. Please, calm down.
How do you know my father anyway?
I know everything. I know about your past, too.
Then tell me what's going on.
You don't know even that?
That's why I'm asking. If you know everything, then tell me how I can put an end to this.
Not yet. Why not enjoy yourself a bit longer?
Enjoy? I feel like I'm going crazy. Does this place get to you at all?
Oh, it gets to me, all right. I find it most fascinating. Wait! I'm not finished talking!
I knew you were on her side.
How do you figure?
There's something wrong with you, too.
That's great. That's like one of my favourite scenes of the game. No, especially the part when Vincent says how Harry's a sneaky guy, and Heather gets really defensive and doesn't like anyone talking bad about her dad. Or like I said before, I think the voice actors in Silent Hill 3 just did such a good job that you can't beat it. You can't beat these voices. You can try, but you're not going to. Like it's like in Silent Hill 2 as well, because I don't think any of the any of the voice actors in that were really sort of professionally trained, or you had quite a sort of, how they sort of delivered their lines was very sort of almost otherworldly as well. Like they were a bit unsure, you know. It's sort of like that uneasiness of them, their line delivery sort of helped it a lot, I think, here in the other world now. But yeah, I just think, I don't think Silent Hill 3 gets enough praise really for how well the voices were, because I mean not knocking Silent Hill 2, but I think Silent Hill 3 is really quite the underrated game. Yeah, it should get a lot more praise than it deserves. It deserves more praise than what it gets, in my opinion. Like I said, this is my favourite, absolutely number one, my favourite Silent Hill game of all. So I just think it's great. The home stretch now. This is like the last sort of section, and then we get to Heather's apartment, and then the end. So, I mean, if you stayed this long, thanks a lot. I don't expect anyone to watch the whole thing, especially not in one go. If you're gonna watch it in one go, yeah, mad respect to you. But I don't think many people are gonna watch this either way. But I just want to put this out there. So I suppose it's in a way to kind of ease myself back into doing videos again, because I haven't done videos in a while. But yeah, and I'm sitting here watching and talking about my favourite Silent Hill game, so I'm having fun. Talking to myself in the shed and at what, 9 o'clock at night. Yeah, this is yeah, but I like this little sort of bit here as well. I just sort of, like, again, it's something that didn't necessarily have to be in here. This is just showing a little bit of that Heather used to be a smoker, in the past, and she doesn't anymore. So it's just little things like that I quite like in this game. Well, in any game really, if it sort of fleshes out the character or anything like that. I think it's always welcome. You don't just want to have like a two-dimensional character who's just like does everything, and you never get to learn about anything. I mean, you might not necessarily learn everything about them when the game's done, but you can get a little insight into what they were like, what they were like in the past, what they're like now, and things. I think that's always a good thing, in my opinion anyway. I mean, it might not be for everyone, but I quite like it. Heather likes playing around with chemicals and burning things in this game, just we're noticing, aren't we? Read more of this story, which Probably. But we'll know more what it means, so it's all good. Oh, these things are bloody annoying. Just because you know, they do that, knock you on the floor. They kind of remind. Well, I wouldn't say these things directly remind me, but it's just seeing them has reminded me in Alien Isolation, the Working Joes. I mean, when you see the alien, it doesn't, you know, you kind of think, oh crap, the alien's there. What am I going to do? When you see the Working Joes there, it's just like they're an annoyance. They are really annoying more than threatening. The Working Joes are just like, oh, move. We want to get on with the game. We don't want to deal with you. It was cool when we saw the alien, but the Working Joes are a waste of time. They're boring. Just as well we got the silver coin. It was lucky that that specific can just so happened to be the one that came out. Not very funny, but there we go. Get out the way. Just leave me alone. Yep, unlocked. Almost done. Take the elevator down. I always like that elevator. Sort of, you actually see it, rather than just having a loading screen and then appearing there, you sort of see the elevator going down. I just like that bit. I just like sort of things like that. Attention to detail, I think that was it's called in the trade. I think as I was playing this, you know, when I was recording it back in the day, I was actually, I think I had like a bit of paper next to me and I was actually marking off how many monsters I killed with the beam, so I think I was fine by the end now. I think I was confident enough.
Ego Ares. Weird writing. What was that?
It always sounded a bit out of place when how she said, you know, how it was said. What was that? Might just be me, but if I was Heather and I read that, I'll probably mispronounce all those words and it wouldn't have done anything if that were me. I'm terrible when you know, pronouncing anything. I can't. I'm awful. And here we go, we're out now. We're out, and now we have to... Well, I think I take off the body armor here, yeah. Because we don't need it anymore. And we make our way back to the Heather's apartment. Look, just flailing her arms about as she runs. I think it's funny. Well, not really flailing about, but there we go. Yeah, we make our way back to Heather's apartment now, and it will lead to the special UFO ending. which I think is probably the best UFO ending. It's just, if you haven't seen it, you're in for a treat. And I'm assuming everyone, or most people, have seen it. So, and like I said before earlier in the game, while recording this, if you have a Silent Hill 2 save and run over here, you will read this in the mailbox. That's like the main plot point from Silent Hill 2. So, okay, and now we're in for the UFO ending, so I'll leave it here and you can watch it.
I'm home, Dad. Listen, something crazy is going on.
What happened?
Well, it's like this. And that's about it.
Oh, my poor little Cheryl. I can't believe that. I'm going to Silent Hill, and I'm gonna bust some heads.
Oh, Dad, you're the coolest!
さあ、良い子のみんな、集まれ良い子のみんな、そろそろ UFO エンディングとか飽きちゃってんじゃないのかい？飽きたよーし、みんな素直だ。素直が一番成長するぞ。それじゃあ、そんな成長期のみんなでサイレントヒルの歌を歌おうかな。よーし、いくよ。ワン、ツー、ゴー、ナナ。シェイク、ヨーメン、ヨー、シェイク、シェイク、ヨー。じゃあまずはクローディアの歌ね。みんなは歌わなくていいよ。クローディア、本当は優しいおばさんだ。お菓子とか買ってくれるし、お年玉くれるし。だけどね、怒ると怖い。ヴィンセントいくよ。ヴィンセント、本当優しい親思い。横断歩道でおばあさんの手とか引いてるし。だけどね、わがままだよ。
でも偉いじゃん、おばあちゃん引いたんだ。
朝とかやたら早いし、磯の香りするし。それはね、魚屋さんだから。カンパチやすいよ。
カツオください。
ゃあ最後にヘザーね。ヘザー。ヘザー、ヘザー。本当はバツ1、2児の母。育児とか大変だし、パートも行けないといけないし。だってさ、ヤンママだから、なめんなよって感じサラティルの歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで、みんなで歌いましょう。サラティルの歌、みんなで歌おう。みんなで、みんなで歌いましょう。
There we have it. Yeah, I think that was the best UFO ending of all. That was really fun. The song's really good as well. You can see how awful I did there with the with everything. But yeah, that was it. That was my play of Silent Hill. My play of Silent Hill 3. Good fun look back on it. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.